I've never been so nervous in my life. Because it's like, it might be my first strategy up, you know?
James said it in an interview when I was next to him, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
And I go, box! Hi everyone, I'm Carlos Sainz, this is Alex Albon, and this is episode 2 of Team Torque,
Presented by.
presented by Atlassian.
There we go.
Okay, and today it's my turn to be the host.
Please enlighten
this-
me with your host skills.
So first of all, Alex, welcome. Welcome to Japan. Welcome to Suzuka.
Thank
Are
you.
you excited to be in Japan?
I love Japan. It's one of my favorite countries, and I was here during New Year's.
Okay.
So I come here in my spare time when I can.
Where did you go in New Year's?
I was in Tokyo, and then I went to Kyoto. I went through a few onsens, and did New Year's here. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Very busy. A
Cold?
lot, very cold, but not snowing. I think for my next trip to Japan, I want to go to Hokkaido.
Yeah, to the snow.
I want to do the snow.
The
yeah.
snow looks amazing.
I heard
there.
the skiing in Japan is the best. Have you heard
Yeah,
that?
I heard the same.
Yeah.
Powder.
Yeah.
Less powder snow.
Yeah.
Anyway, where would you rate Japan in your list of favorite circuits? P1
Numero
maybe?
uno. Well,
Same.
I used to, and I feel like I'm enjoying it less
Why?
because I feel like this track used to be a track where you could push 100%, and I feel like now there's a bit more management,
Too much tire management.
too much time,
Even in
management,
qualifying.
even in qualifying,
Yeah.
and
I
I feel like it's taken away a bit of the pure fun of the track.
Well, let's see. With their surface, they might
That's
have done
true.
it a bit better. no?
I hope so. I hope it.
I think it still loses a bit of character every time they resurface a track.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It loses a bit of
Yeah.
the character of it.
I saw
but,
your quali lap was nice last year. It was a good lap.
I was happy here last year. I did a good few laps in quali. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, going straight into some fun questions. Okay.
Yes.
And talking because we're talking about Japan today. I think the number one question is what impresses you most about the Japanese culture? I like this question.
Yes.
It's actually
I think they are quite similar to me in the way that they are fanatic about doing what they've been born to do in a almost obsessive way. Like I love the culture of whether they have a car garage, or if they are a cleaner in an airport. The detail and the passion and the way that they are like so focused on their job, to me is very.
It's interesting, no? Today, some kids we were doing this
Yeah.
activity,
Yes.
and what they were dreaming to do,
Yeah.
they were completely different kind of
Yes.
kids, but you could see how passionate they
Yeah,
were about. Like
yeah.
one wanted to be work in a theme park,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
another one wanted
It wasn't like astronaut
Yeah.
or
not the typical
One
ones that you
driver.
get in Europe
no
or in
exactly,
America,
Exactly.
or
They want
you get like really specific,
Yeah. Yeah.
very
I want to be a dance teacher.
dance teacher.
Very like to the nose, but I feel like that's great. Like
And you could tell he was gonna be a
yeah,
dancer,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
his
yeah,
purpose in life.
yeah,
And
I
you're
do
right.
like that. I like how they're like. I know you see it in the details too. Like Japanese, I think the one connection we can make is Japanese mechanics, and I have a Japanese mechanic on my side of the garage, and the detail and the focus that they have is really really impressive.
Yeah, good. And okay, an interesting one from a fan also. If you would like to have a Mario Kart weapon in the car, which one would you choose? Easy, no? The star one, come on.
I was thinking the lightning storm. You know, when
Why?
everyone else becomes small, and
Ah,
they
and you drive over.
you drive over.
I would go for the star. Just suddenly have more horsepower.
More grip.
And if you bump into someone, they go away from me. Okay, any more questions? Anyway, let's go back to first few races done.
Yes.
A quick recap of the first two races from you, please.
Positive first two races. I think that it's been interesting. I knew it would be close, I didn't expect it to be this close with the midfield battle. I thought maybe in my head, it just feels like every 100th matters, which is it's fun. Like it's fun to go into every weekend, and the details are becoming so important. But at the same time, it's like, like
demanding.
It's demanding. It's intense, like super intense. So I'm enjoying the challenge. I feel like we've gone to 2 very different circuits. We arrived to another very different track this weekend.
How do you think we'll do here?
I think that we're going to be quite wind dominated.
Because the wind is going to switch around all weekend, no?
I think this wind suits us, the one tomorrow, but it's a loss of wind, which doesn't always suit us. Then there's Saturday, which is less wind, which would suit us, but the wrong wind, the wrong way.
The wrong direction.
The wrong direction, which won't suit us. So I think, I don't know where we will fall out in the, in the mix. I think naturally the car will feel better on Friday than Saturday, though.
And competitive-wise?
I think we'll be okay.
You'll
Yeah, I think we'll be. The only ones I think will be quicker than. I think RB should be quicker than us. I think that the car's in a much better position, and I think that I really struggled in Sector 1 last year.
Yeah, I saw.
And so I hope that we can.
Your lab didn't look good.
No,
my one looked good. Yours didn't.
It was like fighting it from turn 1 all the way to the left. It was just oversteer, understeer, oversteer, understeer.
And you were still overweight, which I think at this track makes a huge difference.
Yeah, exactly that.
So
exactly that.
This year, at least, that's something we don't need to worry about.
No.
Okay. One question. How did you find out about the disqualifications of the Ferraris? And
I think it was always a talking point, no? At least it was for me, because I went to the garage and my number 1, Gorka, was telling me that it was very strange how the 2 Ferraris were left still in Parc Fermé. And he said, that's not normal. He said, I think something's going on over there. So that was quite soon after the race. And then
so you were smelling it already?
I was smelling it, and, well, weight is, and you can't fight weights, and you can't fight
plank.
So I guess I found out a bit later on. It was a bit. It was strange because basically in Australia, it happened the other way, that I lost a position because Kimi's penalty got removed. So it was a nice feeling to go the other way.
Get a few points back.
How about you?
I think I was about to board the plane, and I suddenly read it.
Oh yeah.
and I was like, okay. And then they told me, but that puts you in P10 also because Gasly.
Yeah.
So I was like, I suddenly gained 3 positions. And it was like, after a disappointing day, I was like, I'll take the point. Every point matters.
I think honestly also with the midfield being so tight in the constructors, it's going to help us in some way, I'm sure.
Anyway, another question. Here it says, teamwork is very important. Taking Australian Grand Prix as an example. Did that moment play out with Carlos on the pit wall? Were you aware that I...
No.
You were not aware?
No.
That I was calling...
No, James said it in an interview when I was next to him, and I was like, what are you talking about? I was trying to understand the situation.
Okay, so basically I had the crash in lap 1.
Uh-huh.
And then I was following the race with engineers.
Yes.
And then suddenly we see this
cloud.
Were
you on the pit wall? Or did you just...
I was in the island with my engineers. Following your radio and following your data.
Yeah.
And at this point, 10, 15 laps to go, they tell me about the rain coming. And we start following the radar.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I see the intensity of the rain and I say, this is proper rain. If this hits us, they're gonna struggle to keep it on track. And I start hearing strategy conversations and but it's gonna be very short. Doesn't matter. It's gonna pass very quickly. Let's see in 5-10 laps. And I'm like, no. If this hits us, it's gonna rain. You need to box.
Who did you
No, because I didn't have direct access to them.
Yeah.
So I went and I started running to the pit wall, and I went tick tick. To James, I said, can I then I told him
Yeah.
and say, yeah, talk to Charles and our
Yeah.
strategist.
Yeah.
And I started telling him and Paul also, I say, I think if I was in the car right now, I don't have access to this. But the moment that you see the guys in front going off the road because the rain is too hard,
Yes.
it's just going to get worse from them.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think we should box Alex
Yeah,
the moment the rain comes.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I've never been so nervous in my life. I stand in the pit wall and suddenly you start feeling wind picking up massively,
Okay. Yeah.
the black cloud coming, and I'm like, oh my God, it's coming. I was like, my heart rate was rising.
In case like you made the wrong call.
Yeah, because now I start to feel the responsibility because it's like, it might be my first strategy up, and then suddenly I'm following, okay, hand out, like engineers, like, okay, starts to rain.
The hand of truth.
Obviously, we are in the last sector because
Yeah,
our
yeah.
pit box is in the last corner almost.
Yes.
And then suddenly the camera points at the McLarens, and the McLarens are going off the road into the last two corners. And I go, box! And I start shouting to them, box now! And they go, and everyone's like, yeah, box. And then suddenly you come in, but not many others came in. And I was like, oh my God, we might have really. And then suddenly I stay there like, wait 2 minutes, and it starts down for a couple of laps. And I've never been so nervous. I thought for a moment it was not going to rain, and I was like, I should have just shut up, But I'm glad the radar didn't lie.
Cool. That was good. That was very good.
It felt good in a way, but I've never been so nervous, I tell you. Never.
Yeah. Actually, maybe puts you into perspective of a strategist, like the pressure they have.
Also, you said something in the radio. It's like, are you sure we're on the right tire?
Yeah.
Because it was dry sector 1. No?
I came out on the internet. I was like, it's like no rain in turn 3, 4, 5.
Nothing.
Like nothing. And I was like, guys, I think we came in a bit early here. But then they're like, no, don't worry. Cars are still going off in sector 3. And then I was like, because I knew, like in my head, I was like, I've most probably lost about 3 seconds compared to a dry tire.
Compared to a dry lap.
Like in the lap that I'm doing. And I was like, this sector 3 better be wet. And then I arrived and I was like, okay, good. Like it's properly wet. And then obviously the rain started to come down the track. So then by the next lap was still technically like
Max survived the next lap.
50-50. And then it was into
it took, from my expectations, 2 laps longer than I thought to become undrivable. Because I thought as soon as that rain hit you.
But it was like immediately sector 3 was undrivable. But it was just that it was almost like the wind was really intense, but it was moving. The wind was moving slowly, so it wasn't coming along the track as quickly as you would expect.
Then it got wet all the track. No?
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, now you understand people in the pit wall.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the help. That was
No.
nice. It was a nice team result.
Yeah.
And,
shows, that it says here, in the end, teamwork in the end is fundamental to achieve these results, and
makes the dreams work.
I'm sure you'll do the same for me next time.
I don't think I would have the balls to make the call.
For me, it was too clear. I saw the yellow patch, and when it's yellow, it's yellow. It rains. Almost red.
Okay,
so I said. But maybe I was a bit too ballsy. I should have maybe backed out a bit.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, we're nearing the end of this podcast, Alex.
It's
Anything
been an enjoyable
you want to talk
podcast
about?
so far.
Let's freestyle for the last bit. I'll let you freestyle.
What did you get up to during this week off?
So I had a full week in Monaco.
Nice. Could you relax?
I could relax.
Yeah.
I still had 1 full day of events.
Yeah.
Which you didn't have.
I did not have.
You came back to Thailand. So you owe me a full day of events that
Thank you.
I took for you.
I did my own events.
Okay.
So I created my own mess, my own tiredness.
Okay.
But yes, I agree.
Then I cycled a lot. I did a full week of cycling and healthy eating.
That's good. That's good.
Which helps recovery and puts you in a better mindset going into a triple header.
Yeah.
And then I flew here. I was Simulator Monday.
Yeah.
factory visit on Tuesday and
Nice.
talked to the whole factory
Nice.
and flew on
In
Tuesday.
the garage bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, in the museum.
Oh,
center.
nice.
So big
Yeah,
big
yeah,
crowd.
yeah.
And then I went to an event for Komatsu on Wednesday when I flew in from Europe.
Busy.
Yeah, that was busy. But it was fun, honestly.
Yeah.
The event itself.
How many people?
Apparently there's 8,000 workers in that factory.
Wow.
And I did meet quite a lot of them.
Yeah.
yeah. But I get impressed with the culture.
Yes.
I'm going to say I really enjoyed it
Yeah.
because people are so respectful
Yeah. Yeah.
of
yeah.
your space.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And everywhere I was arriving, little applause.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
applause,
Yeah. Yeah.
global picture, but people are not
Jumping
invading
on-
you
yeah,
or jumping on.
Mm-hmm.
Super well mannered, super. Honestly, thanks Komatsu from here because
Yeah.
it's a really well organized event, super efficient. We managed to visit so many of the plants that
Yes.
were there,
Yes.
and it was a very well organized event. So
That's good. That's nice.
yeah,
That
it
is
was very efficient, and I got a lot of presents from
good.
Komatsu.
Any standout?
A sake bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got little glasses to drink the sake from,
Yeah.
like
cute.
chopsticks.
Yeah. Nice.
I don't know, many
Good.
like a picture fabricated from a kind of a 3D machine,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really cool.
Wow. That's very good. It's very
So
good.
yeah,
Nice. Well, that's it then. See you later. When do we do this next?
oh Saudi. See you later, alligator. See you in Saudi.
See you in Saudi.
In Saudi, I see you
No, we need a see you in Saudi.
for our next episode
Saudi,
3
Audi,
of our
Audi, Audi,
Team
Audi,
Torque,
Audi,
sponsored
Audi,
by
Saudi, Audi, Audi,
Atlassian.
Saudi, in Saudi.
We'll say howdy in Saudi. Chowdy.
Good. See you
Alex
later.
D. Albon D.